Gourdlets is a simple and straightforward sandbox city-building game that allows you to create a charming island town while tiny gourd-like creatures are perpetually marooned on said island by a railway system reminiscent of the Sea Railway from Spirited Away. One could go as far to say the railway system in Gourdlets offers the same feeling as the intentional emptiness sprinkled throughout Miyazaki's work, perpetually trapped in the beauty and pause of the in-between. It's currently only available as a demo, but has been gaining quite a bit of hype over the past few months. I'm especially excited to be highlighting this game as it's being independently developed by a woman, which is refreshing in a male-dominated industry. I will be featuring more games being developed by women on this channel, so if that's something you want to learn more about, be sure to subscribe for future videos. MIT alumni and aerospace engineer Preethi Vaidyanathan, heretofore referred to as AuntyGames, the official name of the development label, wanted to make a game that suited her casual playstyle. In a Q&A with game developer, we learned that rather than wooing the eligible bachelors and bachelorettes of Stardew Valley, tediously gathering bundles for the community center, spelunking cold, inhospitable mines for the sick gratification of a bedazzled jigsaw, or giving a single flying what Grandpa thinks about the progression of the farm, she spent time on more affable tasks such as fishing and decorating the landscape. She also mentions that her time playing Roller Coaster Tycoon consisted of experimenting mainly in sandbox mode. Sandbox mode, an option available starting with the third installation of Roller Coaster Tycoon released in 2004, provides the player with unlimited resources, no goal objectives, and therefore unbounded creativity. We can start to see where the seeds were being planted. Initially released as Mystic Village, the debut demo was launched on itch.io, and people started gradually picking up on the important nuance this game could potentially bring to our cozy gaming libraries. It was clear that AuntyGames took feedback from the itch community seriously and actively listened to player feedback to ensure the game continued to improve. In March of 2022 alone, the game saw 3 updates addressing bugs and incorporating quality-of-life features to enrich the gameplay. In May of 2022, AuntyGames announced a new title for the game, stating the old name, Mystic Village, was forgettable, opting instead to name the game after the creatures that inhabit the town. These creatures were originally referred to as spirits and villagers, but after some brainstorming, she settled on the name Gourdlets because it sounded cute, which it does. In November of 2022, AuntyGames announced that Gourdlets was available to wishlist on Steam, ushering in a new phase for the project. Shortly after that, Wholesome Games tweeted about Gourdlets, which generated quite a bit of player interest. AuntyGames made another update in November, introducing a streamlined undo button for easy undoing and volume controls for music, ocean sounds, and sound effects. Refinements were made to said sound effects to create an immersive and relaxing experience. No effort was spared on the sound design of this project, and modifications were made to the code to add variation in pitch for each time an object is placed. These thoughtful touches make building more engaging, and as a result, it starts to sound like a little tune when objects are played in succession. Kotaku picked up on the hype around Gourdlets and included the up-and-comer in their article, 10 Incredible Games You Should Be Wishlisting Right This Minute. Shortly after that, Rock Paper Shotgun wrote their own glowing article drawing comparisons to Townscaper, another beloved builder that had taken the cozy gaming world by storm in 2021. In November 2022, Gourdlets received yet another mention from big-time gaming news publisher PC Gamer, who released a dedicated article discussing the game. As more and more cozy gamers caught wind of this masterpiece, AuntyGames noticed the primary focus for future updates would be on minor refinements to make the gameplay smoother. This was the last development update of 2022 that was mentioned in the dev blog. Seemingly out of nowhere, a major update brimming with new features launched in the beginning of 2023. This update included new city decorations, updated interactions with islanders, new music, and quality-of-life upgrades. If the attention Gourdlets was getting from popular gaming news networks wasn't enough to convince you of this game's genius, AuntyGames maintained an upward trajectory, landing a spread feature in the UK version of the March 2023 issue of PC Gamer magazine, which is a notable accomplishment for any independent developer. On March 14, 2023, Gourdlets fans were once again surprised by another substantial update. Players could now enter buildings and decorate the interiors to their liking using different wallpaper, flooring, wall decorations, and a small selection of bistro furniture. The last update on April 13th, 2023 introduced a new paint bucket tool, allowing players to fill in larger spaces without developing carpal tunnel syndrome by having to individually click each block on the grid. The fences were updated to create fluid corners and enclosures for those interested in the gruesome act of exhibiting small animals in a zoo-like setting. Finally, the train station received an on-off feature allowing players to control the Gourdlets population in their towns. AuntyGames has been using the Godot engine to build Gourdlets. Simply put, Godot is a popular open-source game development engine designed to create 2D and 3D games across a wide range of platforms including Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Android, iOS, web browsers, virtual reality applications, and augmented reality applications. For the programming nerds in the back, the engine itself is written in C++ and uses its own scripting language, GDScript, which has similarities to the Python coding language. It's also well known for its ability to run on almost any system with untempered speed, making it a go-to for folks that don't have the most optimal setups for development. There is a large and active community of developers who contribute to the development of the engine and create plugins and assets that can be used in games developed with Godot. It's time to talk about the art in this game, of which AuntyGames states was the most challenging part of development thus far. Without prior experience with animated pixel art, she draws inspiration from existing artwork, studying and modifying it until it matches her vision. A true DIYer. The Gourdlet walk cycle, for example, is based on this animated skeleton sprite, which was modified by replacing the body with a gourd and fitting it to the isometric projection of the game. The water originally was a solid blue layer, which, with some experimentation, evolved into repeated hand-animated tiles. The effect was aesthetically unappealing, leading Preethi to write her own shader using Perlin noise. Perlin noise generation was developed during the production of the 1982 sci-fi film Tron and was used to produce organic digital textures used for a variety of visual effects. The creator, Ken Perlin, won an Academy Award of Technical Achievement for the development of Perlin noise in 1997. Using Python coding, she generated a scrolling noise texture by using an open-source Perlin noise generator called Perlin NumPy. Tweaking the parameters of the code, she settled on a final output. In the shader, she layered the images and added movement to resemble a wave pattern, then modified the shader to match the pixelated aesthetic of the game. She then remapped the achromatic colors with shades of blue while adding highlights and shadows and animating the ground tiles, resulting in an intentional, pixelated, anime-esque aquatic experience. Some honorable mentions include Rafael Matos and Daniel James, who made contributions to the game's art, with Rafael being responsible for the tree art and Daniel working on early character development. The cover art was created by the artist and illustrator Requinosis, who specializes in kawaii, sorry if you hate that word, isometric underwater scenes. AuntyGames is developing the perfect game for a calm and relaxing experience that focuses on creative expression via city building. Preethi has spent time listening to feedback from fans in order to create a peaceful atmosphere, allowing players to enjoy moments of pause without worrying about distracting menial tasks. As of right now, you can play the demo and wishlist the game on Steam. By joining the Gourdlets Discord server, you'll be able to vote on potential features, provide feedback for improvements, submit fan art, ask questions, and even discuss Gourdlets lore with other players. That wraps up today's video. If you would like to support the channel, please subscribe and join our growing family of cozy indie game enthusiasts. If there's a game you would like me to cover, let me know in the comments below, or you can email me directly and I'll add it to the list. As always, thank you so much for watching and happy gaming, friends.